You got this.
Okay. All right. We're on.
We're actually on this time.
All right. So today, your hosts, David Washington and Angelina Rahman, we are going to explore pop culture, and we're going to delve into the dynamics of popular figures, their private behaviors, and the public implications for young women and men. What kind of witchcraft is this? Let's go, Angelina.
Awesome. So I bet that you guys are all thinking, why on earth are your political innovators talking about Ariana Grande and her dating history? Well, the answer is because we can.
Yes, we can.
And because I forced David. So Ariana Grande has recently been making headlines with her newest song, Yes and. So we're going to kind of get into the history behind this song and why she's been receiving so much backlash with this song in particular. Now, keep in mind, she is a 30-year-old woman at this point, okay? She's not the same 16-year-old girl that we saw on Nickelodeon. Okay?
Yes.
So here's just a brief timeline of the relationship that she has with Ethan Slater, okay? So now you might be wondering, okay, so why do we care about this Ethan Slater guy? Well, that's because that's the guy that she cheated on her husband with.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And let's just say it was a bit of a...
Here we go.
All right, so here is just a little bit of the history behind her relationship with Ethan Slater. So in November of 2022, Slater expresses his love for his wife Lily J. Right? Keep in mind, Ethan is also married.
Yikes!
Right? And they were together for a total of a decade. Right? So this is what he writes on his Instagram post: "My best friend. 4 years married, 10 years together, and this is easily the best and most bizarre year yet."
Wow.
Exactly. So clearly the man, at least as of November of 2022, is in love with his wife, right?
As it should be.
Exactly. As you should be. I mean, you've been with this woman for how long?
A decade. Familiar territory for me.
Exactly, right? And according to some TikToks, apparently Ariana Grande actually liked said post.
Oh.
So there's that. So in December of 2022, they begin filming Wicked. So that is the set where they actually met. So Ariana Grande plays the good witch in Wicked, and her Wicked co-star, wink wink, Ethan Slater, apparently is a member of Munchkin Land, and he's a resident there, whatever that means.
Right. He's a resident of that particular theater group or whatever, but this is the film production. Right. And I believe his character is Bach.
Yes, Bach is the character. Yes, there you go. You got it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Awesome. So in summer of 2023, Ariana Grande is seen without her wedding ring. And this is whenever the controversy really starts, because fans are wondering, wait, what is going on here? You know, they're making so many speculations. I was one of those fans, so I can say this, but they were making so many speculations as to, you know, is her husband controlling? You know, what is going on here? So originally her husband was actually painted as the bad guy.
Oh.
And, you know, it was just seen as, you know, poor Ariana, she falls in love so easily. Her heart must be broken by this. And so that was the original picture that was painted. So moving on to July 17th, 2023, and it is reported that Ariana and her husband are officially getting divorced.
Yikes.
And more importantly, now this is how you know it's official, Ariana Grande actually deleted some of her photos of her and Dalton on their Instagram, which of course is how you know that a relationship has truly ended, is by their Instagram posts.
By Instagram, there you go.
Exactly, there you go. And on July 20th, so keep in mind, this is 3 days later, according to US Weekly, Ariana and Ethan began recently seeing each other. And then the following day, Lily, that is Slater's wife, remember that, states that she was completely blindsided by this affair. Now, what makes this even more scandalous is the fact that apparently Ethan and Ariana would actually invite their spouses, and they would have all kinds of double dates. They actually hung out as friends. Lily reported that Ariana actually held her baby and said to her, you know, I'm so excited. I would really like to have kids. Well, apparently she really wanted to have that child.
Indeed. Playbook of a homewrecker. Wow. So good
Exactly.
friends.
Good friends.
When they say keep your enemies close.
They really mean it.
Wow.
And then, according to what I see, the following month, it appears that she was advised, probably by her friends and family, to take things slow with Ethan, right?
Bach.
And you might be thinking, who is this Dalton Gomez guy? So Ariana married this Dalton Gomez guy. He is a real estate agent. In fact, they actually met whenever Ariana was purchasing her home in LA, I believe.
Okay. All right.
And so obviously, this man has some money, and he is incredibly good looking. I mean, not my type per se, because, he's not my boyfriend, but,
Well
to
played.
conventional, right? To conventional beauty standards, he would be considered attractive to most women, right?
Okay. All right. Especially his money.
Right, exactly. Especially
Just
the
saying.
money.
Just saying that.
But okay, so you remember the cheating scandal between Princess Diana and her husband, and Kamala? No, Camilla is,
Right.
yes, is the mistress name.
Yes.
Well, everyone says that Camilla was the downgrade. This is essentially the modern day version of that.
Wow.
Yeah. So essentially Dalton Gomez is the Princess Diana in this case.
Wow. The downgrade as far as the looks, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
so
probably money. I mean, he's a Munchkin Land resident.
well, you can't say this is hypergamy. Oh my god, I can't believe I said it that way. See, I've been watching way too many podcasts. Okay, so this, I guess, is something of a true love connection, so to speak.
Well, you could say that. Ariana actually has a past of cheating on her boyfriends. I'm sorry, not cheating on them. Well, sort
Stepping
of
out.
cheating on
Yeah,
them.
let's call it for what it
Right,
is.
exactly. Cheating on them, but she is seen as the other woman. In fact, actually, one of her songs is called "Break Up with Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored."
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme
That pretty
among
much.
modern women. Yes. Just saying. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this. Just saying. Let's go.
So, David, so I know that you have a background in mental health, of course.
Yes, I do.
So, I have a question for you. So, is there a psychological disorder or something that causes people to be attracted to people that are in relationships?
Right. I wouldn't necessarily say there's a specific disorder with a name specific for this, but the closest I could think of would be narcissism.
Narcissism? Okay.
And
And a
so,
hoe?
yeah, pretty much a whole. Yeah, this is whole behavior, and I take that from another podcast that I was watching, and the young lady said, "Yes, I break up families, I break up marriages.
Wow.
I'm a hoe," and she is
A hoe.
a hoe. And so, is it narcissistic behavior? It seems like it to me.
Okay. I really like that you mentioned that podcast. In fact, this actually sort of brings to my next point of okay, so why are we talking about this infamous affair even though
Mhm.
this happened this summer? Well, the reason why is because Ariana claps back with her newest song, Yes and.
Yes, yes, and
And
boy, does she clap back.
yes. Okay. So now here are just some of the lyrics to this song.
Let's hear it.
Say that ish with your chest. Keep it moving. What's next? Yes, and your business is yours, and mine is mine.
Mhm.
And of course, she says, why do you care so much whose D I ride?
Wow, and that's a message to her fans.
Exactly. And probably even to her family and friends, because it is reported that they are also the ones that's, talking to her and saying, Ariana, maybe cut out this hoish behavior every once in a while.
Sure, and maybe just connect with herself. I mean, uh, music is storytelling,
Absolutely.
and throughout time, people have told their stories,
Mhm.
through music and so forth and so on. Now, as explicit as it is, granted, I may be older, but
Mhm.
I've heard it, seen it. Okay, but from a young lady,
Right.
that's different.
It is
And
different.
a young lady that has so much influence over other young ladies
Exactly.
and girls. And I know, again, this is another generation.
Mhm.
Your generation speaks differently, but not so different
Also
from
known
my
as
generation.
say that ish with your chest.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That's gonna be my new catchphrase. Say
Say
that
that
ish
ish
with
with
your
your
chest.
chest. But what bothers me the most is that someone of such high profile
Absolutely.
as Ariana
Mhm.
Grande and this very public
Yes,
affair
exactly.
and relationship with Ethan, and the fact that she is the cause of two
Mhm.
families breaking up.
Exactly.
Of course, Bach, Ethan, has responsibility in this.
Absolutely.
He's an adult. Has responsibility in this.
More importantly, he's a man and he was the man of his household
Bingo.
and a father. I mean, Ariana, of course she was married and that is her responsibility as a woman and as a wife to take care of her marriage. But as of yet, she doesn't have any children. This man does.
Hmm. And divorces, I've had a divorce, and
Mhm.
it's hard. It's very hard,
I
especially
bet.
with young children.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason why Ethan felt it in his heart to divorce, because Ariana was there, um it it, it for me, it bothers me a little bit,
Mhm.
because of its obligations, and to split up your family for another person. I will have a problem with that. I have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
I can understand circumstances within the marriage, would be grounds for a divorce or split up of some kind, but for, man, even guys, know your role, know your place. Your place is as the leader of your family, and your obligations to your family. Things do get tough and get hard. I understand that, and a divorce may be warranted. Mm, but to sacrifice your family for Ariana Grande,
The good witch.
the good witch.
And I love the fact that you give men that responsibility in
Mhm,
their role, because I think that what's happening now is everybody is sort of turning on Ariana Grande instead of actually talking about Ethan Slater.
mhm.
However, she also gets a pat on the back in a way, from her fans and just from the
Of
media in
course,
general.
of
She
course.
gets that sympathy of, oh yeah, poor Ariana, she had a rough relationship with her father and all these excuses. And I get it, ladies.
She's
If
got
you
all the money in the world for therapy. Get
hire
over it.
David.
Yeah. I mean, we live in this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, no, you're good.
However, we live in this victim mentality,
Exactly.
and not everything's going to plan out the way it's supposed to plan. Not everything is going to be chipper. Not
Mhm.
everything's going to be, sunshine and unicorns and so forth and so on. It's how we deal with those times,
Absolutely.
that the highs and the lows, that make us better people. But man, and I personally, I'm tired of the excuses. Well, my childhood, or my parents, or
Hmm.
I didn't go to this particular school, or we were poor. Da, 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 da. I mean, what makes us humans is what we make of our experience,
Absolutely.
and we don't have to succumb or to the shortcomings in our lives, or succumb to the high points in our lives. Sometimes the high points in our life may be a little bit too high.
Exactly. And I love the fact that you mentioned that because our society does not want to take responsibility for our actions. I find that my generation in particular, what we like to do is we just like to blame our parents. Oh, well, my mom didn't hug me, and it's always these
Sure.
dumb excuses. And it's, you are responsible for your future and your present.
Hmm.
And what I would like to oh, sorry, thank you. And what I would like to say to these young ladies out there is, you know, you're going to always think that the grass is always greener on the other side. Not just to the young ladies, this is also
Hypergamy.
to the young men. Anybody in a relationship knows you're going to look at someone's relationship and think, why aren't we like this? But guess what? Trials and tribulations will happen in every single relationship. Sorry, excuse me. You think about Ariana Grande.
Mhm.
This isn't her first roller coaster. She's been on this journey for quite a long time and she still hasn't found happiness. And the reason why is because she's not willing to stick it out in her relationship in particular. And I think that people, once they see somebody new, they get all excited, oh yeah, we can do this. I wasn't able to do that during my marriage and all this stuff. And then they get
Yes.
so blindsided by that. And whenever those trials and tribulations come along, that's whenever they decide to move along.
Sure. I think for many of us, we live without a purpose,
Exactly.
a distinct purpose in our lives, accomplishments and goals.
Mhm.
And so when I talk to people my age, older, younger, whatever, when I was in the therapeutic field, I would just ask them, well, where do you see yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What goals or what's your purpose in getting
Exactly.
to what you want out of life? And a lot of people, would say to me, well, I don't know.
Wow.
And so
That's really sad.
not knowing is part of the struggle for some people. And a particular message to the young ladies. um we were at a business meeting the other day,
Right.
and we stayed long enough that we had like three different servers.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the
Clearing
last
out the place.
right, and the last server was an attractive young
Oh yeah,
lady.
very.
However, oh my God,
The outfit.
the outfit, the tattoos,
Mhm.
the nose ring, and everything like that.
And the wait, what is this thing called? The septum? No.
No, no, that's here, right, in the
Yeah, yeah.
nose, but the right, the earlobe, the
Yeah. Oh yeah,
gauge,
yeah. The
right,
gauges. There we go. Wow,
and
I'm
it,
showing my
your coolness.
There
and
you go.
and it's like, and I'm not judging the young lady,
Right.
but it kind of caught us. I'll
Right.
speak for myself. Caught me off guard, and it's like, if I was in the dating pool,
Mhm.
I was like, such a beautiful woman behind all that, so
Right.
personable and everything.
Mhm.
However, if I took her home to mom and dad, they were like, David, do better,
Mhm.
despite the
It's
fact that
true.
she's
Oh right. Beautiful
intelligent,
young
well spoken,
lady.
beautiful,
Right.
and everything. And when I see something about, Ariana Grande and hypergamy and women, modern women these days, um, making it so easy for guys,
Right. Exactly.
and so many guys fighting for so many women and not being successful, it
Mhm.
breaks my heart in seeing that this your
Mhm.
generation or the generations behind me are not connecting the way that
Right.
we used to. And everyone seems to be going in their own individual way
Mhm.
and kind of missing out on what makes us special, and that's connecting with one another.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I don't know this young lady, our server's history or anything like that. The artwork was great. It's just that it
Mhm.
was like, wow, it kind of shocked me for
Right.
where we were and everything. So
Absolutely. And you mentioned something really profound that evening was, us ladies, we have the power. We have the power to influence men. And I think that we forget about how much strength there is in our femininity. And, we always try to get caught up with the world of saying, well, you need to be more masculine in order to be
right.
powerful. You need to be like this in order to be powerful. You can't wear a dress and claim, that you have power. No, that is where the power lies. It lies in our gracefulness, our graciousness,
Hmm.
right? So
I
I
agree.
think that women tend to forget that. And there was a point where I even forgot about that. I was in a previous relationship before my boyfriend, and I became so masculine because I felt like I had to be. And one of my biggest tips for ladies is, if you're trying to figure out, is this the right man for you? If you feel more feminine, if you feel like you want to just, be drawn into that more feminine role, then most likely that is the one for you. Same thing with the gentleman. If that woman brings out the inner gentleman in you and she makes you feel like, you can protect her, she makes you feel like, you are provider,
And leader.
then exactly, and leader. That is the woman for you. And you don't want to change it. You don't want to trade it for someone like Ariana Grande or some other floozy that's going to come around and wreck your relationship and overall wreck your happiness.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I wish Ethan and Ariana
Absolutely.
healthy lives. Pray for their families.
Mhm.
You really don't. I really don't want to see this highlighted in our media. I
Absolutely.
like to see um, more positive notes about couples that stay together,
Hmm.
families that stay together among our pop stars and our American royalty.
Right.
Um, yeah, women, you all have all the power. Okay, let me
We
pull
do,
back there.
ladies.
You all have a great deal of power, and
That's
as
not a
you
leftist take, David.
weave it. And when you lean into your femininity, a man will move
Absolutely.
mountains for you. And I just, I just don't see it. And maybe I need to get out more, but I just wish I saw more of um, ladies being ladies, men being men, being gentlemen. But you know, that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. And what is your final note?
Uh, Ariana, I'm engaged, but I'm not married yet.
Don't show Daisy this.
I'm just
Canceled, David. Canceled.
I'm just kidding. Am I gonna run out and see Wicked? Doubt it. I'll probably see the stage production. I know Daisy would love to see that. Um
She just needs to hide you.
yeah,
Yeah, she just
yeah,
needs to record it and watch it from the convenience of
exactly.
her own home.
But I remember watching Ariana Grande when she was on the Disney Channel, whatever.
Nickelodeon.
Thank you, Nickelodeon. See?
You almost got canceled again.
Yeah, yeah. But however, is to hear this particular story is kind of sad that
Absolutely.
she hasn't found happiness. Hopefully, she will here, but at what cost?
Absolutely. And my final word is, we're all going to feel tempted to cheat or, to step out of a relationship, whether it be emotionally, physically, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
There are resources for that. There's reasons why you have people in your life. There's reasons why we're recording this podcast.
Mhm.
There's reasons why there's so many resources out on YouTube and many different platforms. Go to those.
Sure.
If you feel like you might cheat on your significant other, watch this podcast again.
There you go.
Get a part of this discussion because this is
Yes.
important. There's a reason why we're talking about this, and that's because this is a very common thing that people are dealing with
Every day. There's no
every
doubt
day.
about that. Every day, and there are resources. It takes a great deal of inner strength, also.
Absolutely.
So, no one's perfect. No one's expecting you to be perfect, except your political innovators. That's us. That's us. And hopefully, you enjoyed this particular episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. Angelina, David, thank you, John, our producer. Thank you, team. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up, a J. in Washington network production.
Awesome.
We're out.
Like, comment, and
Yes.
subscribe.